Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, graphics still on there. Hold on. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. We are the number one podcasting show in Vladivostok. That's in Russia. It's in Siberia. But I find out over and over again that we're number one. So there's something. So if you've ever been there, don't go. It's too cold. All right. We are welcomed by a new permanent guest host. His name is Dr. Mack. You've heard me reference him many times on air. Dr. Mack. You say his name backwards, it's Cam. So we have that as well. So those are two positive things so far. How you doing, Dr. Mack?
Oh, fine as frog's hair.
Yes, how are you, sir?
Hi, Eddie. Hi, Mac.
Hey.
We're all ready to go. All right.
See, I had to practice that.
I know. He did have to practice it. He was given the C and the A and the M. He nailed it. All right. Without further ado, we're just going to jump right in there. Obviously, you know what we cover. We cover Pittsburgh sports, so we're going to get right into it. The Steelers played a football game last Sunday. They hosted the number one team in the NFL with the number one running back in the NFL, Jonathan Taylor. Colts came in 7-1. They left a Crusher Stadium 7-2. So, first question to you, gentlemen, and we'll start with Dr. Mack, if he's the guest. You can see it on there. I mean, it was a great run they had. 6 turnovers. They didn't do a lot, though, on offense, but the defense was opportunistic, and Dr. Mack has a very interesting take on this type of play. Go ahead, Dr. Mack.
Well, in general, I mean, you can't depend on it. I mean, it's feast or famine. They have, 20 turnovers throughout the year. Two of them are 11, 10, 12, somewhere 11. Around there in 2 games. So you can't make a living off of it. They were okay on the defensive side in terms of stopping the run, which I was quite impressed about. I think he only had 12 carries. But in general, I thought they played okay considering. But in terms of the stellar, I'm not quite sure stellar is the word I'd use. I'd put adequate on that.
Adequate's a good word, Mac.
Go ahead. Trace, jump in there.
All right, so consistency is what I had written down too. Like, why are we not consistent? Like, let's give away some of these turnovers so we could space them out over a couple games or whatever, Like you said, Mac, feast or famine. I didn't see anything other than them winning one-on-one matchups, and then they moved Jalen Ramsey back to the free safety as the overarching, and then they kind of played man-to-man underneath. I still think JPJ is too handsy. The linebackers were in position again. And I do think the interior defensive linemen played very well, even though the outside linebackers actually both came up with turnovers, right? So turnovers, we need turnovers to win, I guess, is what the formula is, Eddie.
I rewatched the game just because I'm so busy at work. I use it as my downtime, and after I went over it, it's troubling. It truly is. It's not only that, but they didn't sustain a lot of long drives. But the defense, obviously, if you look back on it in 2020, as we know, as we talked with Ray Fittipaldo, that it was not Minkah Fitzpatrick as the problem. He was more of an eraser than they realized, and it's just a glowing, need they have back there in the secondary because they need somebody there. And I think that's a great move to have Jalen Ramsey back there. I don't think he's a great cover corner any longer. I think he's perfect at safety where he is. I don't know if they're going to keep him there. What are the odds of keeping him there, Mac?
I think they have to. He can't stay out on the corner anymore. I mean, if you're going to make him a player and he's a risk taker, that's what you want. That's what you want back there, and you got to move him there. There's no one else that's going to make a gamble and come true and make things happen back there. That's where he belongs, period. If they stick him back out on the corner, you're leaving him on an island, and he can't survive there. He's not Gilligan.
That's true. He is. Trace, does he stay there, yes or no?
I think he stays at free safety. I think he's ended up going to be real comfortable there. It's going to be close to what Rod Woodson did. That transition was real nice for him, and he continued and elongated his career. And I actually think he will do very well back there.
So he's 31 years old, going on 32. I think rightly so, that he can squeeze 3 to 4 more years out of that position.
Yes.
He's not a cover. And maybe
Absolutely.
But again, they did have Minka, and Minka was not the problem, at least in my estimation. They have their problems are great and many. So I just think should have kept him. But you did get Jalen and you did get Johnny Smith. So
well, if they play a few more games with like Danny Dimes, he gave the ball away like he didn't really want it. 3 picks. He fumbled the ball 3 times. I mean, we can say about the stellar defense all we want, but if we get someone to give us the ball like that, anyone can look stellar. But
so you're right. It is 2 games with 11 turnovers. It was 9 spread over, 6 games. I just don't think it's sustainable. And I'm with Mac. It's not something tangible. It's not like you can say, our identity is a running team or something like that, or we're the best 4-3 defense. And I think that's where the Steeler fans, and Mac was saying it earlier at work, that the Steeler fans are going to fall in love again. They're going to think they're going to be dominant, and now you have to go to the coast to take on the Chargers. So, all right, next question. Trace will start us off. What'd you think of the offense?
I think the offense will do just fine. They signed Scatling. Jeez, what was his name, Eddie?
Oh, you're talking Marquez Valdes-Scantling?
Thank you. They signed him to the practice squad. I know he has a history with Rodgers. Other than that, they didn't make any moves. I was actually surprised they didn't do anything for a wide receiver. But I thought the offense did pretty well against the Colts. They didn't sustain drives, just like Max said. We really want to see them hold on to the ball, knock the clock down, sustain the drive. But they seem to be able to score. So I don't know how much complaining we can do other than they're leaving our defense on the field too long. That's about the only thing that I would say is our complaint.
Yeah, but it's different when they did score. That's a factual statement, but they were given the ball. And you had a good point right.
They could have just only kicked field goals there, but they were scoring either way.
Mac, you're up. What do you think?
Yeah, 27 points. You got 6 turnovers. 6. So in terms of the offense, you got to score more points. They came out of that thing with 220 yards, 230 yards. I don't know. Rodgers had 205, 210. Jalen Warren has 30 yards on the ground, and that's where we're putting our feather. There's no rain here. Sorry, gentlemen. That's just not going to get it done.
The dance did not produce any
sunshine when she's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
As Mac said. Overall, the offense is what the offense is. They made no discernible, additions other than MVS, which he's been on the couch forever. Nobody picked him up. I don't know what that says about his talent. Tracy was accurate. He does have a history with Rodgers. He's just not. He's not the type of. He's not a Devontae Adams. He's a lighter, skinnier, shorter DK Metcalf. That's all he is. He's known for his long ball. So maybe that gives you a dual threat long, but I'm really not sure it was the best. And I don't know the NFL rules. I think I know them well. He could be added to the roster as late as Saturday, I think. So if he does well in these practices, maybe they take him to the coast with them, and maybe he gets a jersey. I don't know if it's going to be that.
Well, they already let Beanie Bishop go, right?
Which is unbelievable. I don't know why they did that. That guy might get picked up.
Yeah, he definitely might get picked up. But at the same time, well, if he was that good, he would have been on the field, and we think we're struggling at that position, they would have had him going. So he's obviously not doing something right.
All right, so you're going to I can't even comment on that. Coaching we'll talk about. Tomlin, he didn't really have to do anything, obviously. Giving the ball 6 times from the Indianapolis Colts. You don't really do much game planning. So the defense was in opportune positions. I'll give him that. But again, maybe he was in need for cataracts, Danny Dimes. Maybe he did something wrong. He got hit in the head. He was colorblind because after we were watching those games, those interceptions were just unthinkable, unconscionable, just ridiculous. It was worse than a rookie. It was like he was back at college at Duke. That's how bad they were. So how are you going to grade the coaching, Trace?
Probably a B minus, maybe. Right? For reasons why even Max stated, we didn't hold the ball very long. I thought there were still some assignments that were missed, even though I thought we did very well. Yeah, I give it a B minus because it did put up 27 points, but then they allowed the other team to come back almost. Mac?
Scott Mac.
I can't even go a B. I mean, I'll give him a C overall for coaching. I didn't see any adjustments to change anything. You know, when you have 200 yards of total offense and your defense, I know that Danny Dimes was flinging the ball all over, but he still threw for 350, you know, or close to. I mean, so I can't give you a passing grade if you're letting a guy get that many yards and you got 6 turnovers and you managed 27 points. I just don't understand.
The reason he got so many yards is because they're behind.
I can't give him a failing grade. I got to give him a passing grade, but a C, I don't know. How can you do much more than that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that, Mac. I just think that the time's over. Everyone knows it except for the national media and the weakness of the Steelers owners. It's time for him to go. After 10 years, it gets stale, and he is stale. His message is terrible. I mean, the most return on investment, I guess, was this game because they had 6 turnovers, but they're not getting the ROI to justify the fact that they've had the most expensive defense.
Especially with the consistency they should have with that most expensive defense.
I agree. They should have done something right before we go to the next matchup. We're going to talk about the trade deadline. Should they have made a move, yes or no? Mac, you're up.
I mean, we've been talking about this forever. I mean, we've been hearing this whole message for 3 years. We're going to bring a receiver to town. Well, you know, it's the same as me telling the kids when they're little, Santa's coming. Santa's coming. That chimney's clear, man. I'm still building fires there. It's not going to happen.
I mean, it did bring us DK.
Well, listen, when you replace an alpha with another alpha and still promise, you know, a B guy, you still got the same situation. I mean, I didn't like Pickens either, like you, Trace, but he's in Dallas doing big things. I mean, they got 2 guys down there, and we don't. We have 1 guy. And
listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think he's eating down in Dallas, but Pickens isn't a winner. That dude does not know how to win. If he knew how to win, he wouldn't be worried about eating down in Dallas. He's quite content with what's going on down there.
I'm not sure where he wears his championship rings, on his left hand or right hand, but he's got 2 of them.
Yeah, doesn't count for nothing in the NFL.
He's got 2 college championships, so he doesn't know how to win. He was with Georgia.
I know.
I also think the fact that
didn't win here, he's not winning there.
Rashid Shaheed, who is much better than MVS, went for a 4 and a 5. The Steelers claim they have all this draft capital. Why would you not go get Rashid Shaheed, who is fast and a very good player in the NFL? I mean, you could offer 2 4s. You have multiple 4s. Why don't I offer 2 4s? You know, Trump. The
answer to that is there's no reason not. There's no reason not, Ed.
Exactly, and that calls into question not only the front office, but where's the scouting department? Where are they? You know, every other team had, you know, massive boards up. According to Adam Schefter, everybody was calling the Jets, right? You know, they have a nice receiver there that doesn't want to be there anymore. You know, and Garrett Wilson, and who, oh, by the way, is already locked up. You won't even have to do anything for a contract. You know, you might have to reshuffle some money around, but you could have had Garrett Wilson. You know, he has a history, right, with Aaron Rodgers. It's a brief history, but he could play with Aaron Rodgers. So overall, and the fact that they're going to come out and say, and you already know it, Tomlin's going to come out and say, we're happy with what we have. I mean, how many times is he going to get away with that is really what I want to know. So there's an actual revolt in the stadium, and at the 6-minute mark of the first quarter, all the fans stand up and file themselves out of the building. I mean, it's going to take something dramatic like that to hit him in the pocket to say, the guy's got to go. He just truly has to go. All right, we're headed to our next set of questions. Tracy will be up first.
Okay.
Week 10, they're going to SoFi Stadium, which, you know, one of these days, we got to go to SoFi Stadium. It's supposed to be really, really nice. Anyway.
I don't want to go.
Yeah, you do. Just like Bill didn't want to go to Times Square, and he did. So.
I'm good, Ed.
we know the quarterback, Justin Herbert, throws one of the prettiest balls I've seen in ages. What are they going to do on defense? How are they going to counteract him, Trace?
All right. So John Oldsboy is one of the tackles, right? He's out for the season. Then the other tackle's out for the season, right?
Yep.
That's how they're going to do it. So they got to expose that O-line.
but they just traded for somebody at the trade deadline. They got
Either
Trevor.
way,
Trevor
that's how. So somebody just came in. We always talk about our line needing like gel time and everything else, and like weeks and how they get better. This guy's just coming in. That is what they need to expose. They need to like get in these gaps, fill them in, and just smother anybody with the ball. That's how they're going to win.
Well, they do have some injuries on the offense, and I think it'd be wrong for them to get out of the rush discipline lanes because Herbert's he's an athlete. So, all right, what do you got, Mac?
Well,
I'm going to defend that guy.
Well, I mean, they're using the grocery store stalker for running back. I mean, they've been recycling people out of that. They have nobody to run the football. However, they got top 3 quarterback in football, and their receiving core is unbelievable. Okay, so we're really going to see how the secondary is going to turn because they got 3 or 4 guys that got 30 plus catches. On that squad. I mean, McConkey and Allen and, what's that other Johnson, I think.
Yeah.
They got 3 or 4 guys, that can run routes, and Herbert's just flinging it all over the field. So it's a tough matchup.
I like it. I like the matchup. I mean, I think they have the ability to really light the scoreboard up. They really do. Even though it's makeshift at the running back position. But, I mean, other than the elite running backs in the NFL, it's really truly just a running back by committee. They have Vidal right now, who's the second-year player out of Troy. But they got a good – Matlock's a great fullback out of Boise State. Been there 3 years. I think he does well. I think they'd be stupid. They'd be stupid not to take the athleticism of Herbert, seriously. Because he can move. When he wants to, he can move. And the addition of Trevor Penning is going to help a lot. I mean, he's a starter in New Orleans, and I think it's going to help their offensive line a lot.
See, Eddie, do you think that it's anything like Lamar Jackson? I know he's got I think he has more talent at arm than Jackson does. But do you think that it's comparable to defending against Jackson?
No, because Jackson's a run first. This guy's a pass first. But
he's a pass first guy, but he still can get out there and move around. That's what I'm saying now.
On his athleticism. And game thinking that, I think that. So here's a good question for you, Trace.
Yeah.
We'll go to the key matchup in a second. Who do you favor in the coaching? Harbaugh or Tomlin?
Wow. That's heavy, Ogre.
I know Mac's answer, believe me.
It's going to be Harbaugh and the favorite of the coaching. However, I do think that Aaron and our offensive coordinator are in sync, actually. And I think they make adjustments to these tight ends and these big sets and everything else that kind of negate some of the things they can do. But I do think that Harbaugh is better at that game. They always seem to be, at least, right?
They do. I mean, this Harbaugh's can coach. Mac, what's your thoughts on that, buddy?
It's clear. I mean, it's not even a discussion. Harbaugh is the best motivator in the league. Okay, his X's and O's are impeccable. He puts guys in position to make plays, and Pittsburgh's the same. And I thank you guys for asking me to come on the San Diego Sports Show. I'm sorry for being that guy, but it's clear. It's clear that Harbaugh is the guy. And he has his team ready to play every single week. Every week.
All right, we're going to go to the key matchups. Trace, Joey Porter Jr. on the outside. Who's he going to cover? Is he going to go after Keenan Allen? Is he going to go after Quentin Johnson? Or is he
Quentin Johnson. That's who I think he's going to go after. But I also think that he's been struggling, Eddie.
Yeah. And you also have Ladd McConkey. I mean, again, he's another young kid, one of those underrated guys. I think,
I think it's Quentin Johnson because he's younger as well. Sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. But he's had some trouble, too, with consistency.
Well, he drops the ball over the pass.
Oh, good. That's kind of what I'm saying in a nice way, I think.
Yeah, Ladd's in his second year out of Georgia, but I think that's going to be an important matchup. Mac, who does he follow?
I think Trace is right. He has to go after Johnson. But the problem you got with that is arguably you're putting your best guy, and I use the quotes, best guy, to take Johnson out of the game. But then you got McConkey, who he leads the team in catches anyway. So I think he's got 60 catches or something.
Keenan Allen, too.
Well, you got Keenan Allen too. I mean, like I said, you got it's tough. Our secondary isn't solid at all, and they got, like I said, they got 4 guys that have 30, 35 catches and up. I don't know what the exact number is, but they got noodles of catches. They just got tons of catches.
He does spread the ball around a lot.
He throws it to everybody, and I don't know what that Vidal kid is. I know he's the replacement, right? Vidal.
He is.
I don't know what he can do out of the backfield, but I know Herbert likes to check down when they stop people. But he's got it's a tough matchup for them. It really, really is.
Do you buy it, Mac? Do you buy anything into the traveling across country?
Oh yeah, I mean, of course it is. I think it's a challenge. How can you not? I mean, it's proven time and time again.
That's true.
Oh, no, every time I've flown out West Coast, I never feel good.
There you go. You just don't like the left coast. Trace, the Steelers' offensive line against a pretty good San Diego defensive line. I mean, they can get after it. Who do you like in that matchup?
I like us. I think Broderick Jones is getting better. His form is getting a little bit better. But Tanu, I think, has been solid. I think he might be one of our better linemen right now. And it looks like Malu might be able to play, but if not, I think Anderson is more unserviceable. And I think that, even moving forward, if we can, they should try to find another guard somehow to back one of these two guys up. Because, if Malu goes down, we're light then in the middle, right in the interior.
So, Trace, I'm going to have to pause right there. You say he's getting better. It's the same question I ask you almost every week. Is he going to be able to be worthy of that 5th-year option?
Still not yet.
He only has a few more games. That's it. They played 8. You only got 9 to go to get that 5th-year option. Mac, what do you think?
It's that added question. Is he a Hall of Fame player? If you think about it, he's not. So if he's a 5th-year guy and you got to think about it, then he's not. It's
right.
that clear. I rooted for the guy. I keep rooting for you like you do, Trace. But there's just so many times that he does something and you can't even believe that he does it. It continues to be that way.
What you guys are saying, he is wildly inconsistent.
Oh,
right.
What an understatement, Ed.
Yeah, I'm curious. No one in the NFL brings this up about their first round misses. I mean, they have not hit on a first round since TJ Watt. I mean, you take out the Penn State linebacker or the Ohio State linebacker, Shazier, because he got hurt. You take him out because I think we could say he would have gotten a second contract, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he was playing well. You take him out of the equation, and it's just been Watt. That's it. I mean, they gave a second to Minka, but he wasn't their draft pick. He was the Dolphins. But, I mean, it's just amazing that no one in the NFL talks about that when they talk about the greatness of Tomlin. They don't talk about anything negative, and it's not really picking on him, on a personal level. It's just a fact that they cannot draft in the first round. All right, so let's keep going. Mac, you're going to be up first. Obviously, this is a conference game, right? What kind of impact will it have? The Chargers sit right now. They are 3rd in their division, I think, or 2nd. They're 2nd in their division. What does the divisional loss mean overall?
I think it's huge. I mean, right now, they're the 6th team in right now, in terms of making playoffs. So, you're on that bubble. I mean, if they somehow stumble, now the good part is they're in that division and it stinks. I mean, they could arguably win that with 9 games. So, and they probably will. But, that remains to be seen. But, they can't keep losing because, the objects in the mirror are closer. And the Ravens are coming. So we got to watch.
Yeah, it's a favorite. Trace, anything to add or subtract?
Oh, the Ravens are coming, but the Bengals are coming back, right? We're going to play against them, too. So there's some tough matchups ahead here. Like losing against the Bengals with Flacco was just devastating, I think, for the season. I don't know if they regained it with this win against the Colts, but they definitely had a chance to, propel themselves forward, and they did not take advantage of it.
Arguably, I would think that the Buffalo Bills game and the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears games are going to be a little bit tougher than say the in division teams. But who knows? That's why they play the games. All right. So, question for you. Next topic. We'll start with Mac this time. Mac, is the team for real? Are they a pretender or a contender? The Steelers.
Well, I gotta say, after I bashed them the entire show here, I'm going to still say they're a contender. I mean, this division stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on what you mean by contender. If you're talking contender as a playoff team, yeah.
They win the Super Bowl?
Well, that's well. Come on, if you're going to throw a joke, you got to come with a riddle. I mean,
roses are red, violets are blue. The Steelers stink. They'll never win the bowl. Are they? Can they get?
That was good.
Can they get?
A riddle or a haiku right there.
It was a mix of both. Trace, can they make it to the Super Bowl?
Haiku.
I mean, Eddie, I would like to say, like, yeah, they need to improve in all these places, but what my note right here to Mac's point is the rest of the league is that bad. Yeah, they can. They possibly can.
Let's pause and go through this because I don't necessarily disagree with you. As we've seen in the NFL, right? You have the Green Bay Packers come to Pittsburgh and just humiliate them, right? But then they go back home and get humiliated by the Carolina Panthers, right? Then you have the Colts who are on a roll.
Unbelievable.
Stumble. And then you have the Detroit Lions who are on a roll, and they fall to the Vikings at home. So to your point, Trace, obviously Vegas does not agree with anything we're saying here because the Steelers, I think, are 16 or 18, to get into the Super Bowl. But it's a valid point. We've talked about this all year. I think if you just roll the dice and you get into that 14-team tournament, I think you have a 1 in 14 chance, maybe better, right?
Tournament.
You get to the next level and you got, it's even lower. So I think they
What's the worst number on the planet? It's number 13. They've been the 13th ranked team for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Was it the worst number?
I didn't make this up. This is the rule, man.
He didn't make it up. Foolish man. All right, so as we do at the end of the Steelers segment, it is time. The Steelers, I think, are a road dog. I think they are going in there 3.5-point underdogs. That was as of yesterday. Let me double check before I get your picks. It is it's the late game, the 8:20 game. The Steelers are a 3.5-point underdog. The over-under is 44.5. Mac, you're the guest. I want a prediction that I'm going to write down now, sir. Who wins the ball game?
Simple. It's in SoFi. San Diego wins 27-17. They take it by 10.
Trace.
31-27 Steelers.
Woo, high scoring. I'm going to say it's going to be a low-scoring affair. And I like the 3 points. I mean, I'm inclined to take the Steelers with the 3 points, but we do it differently here. So I'm going to say 23-20, and I think the road team might get the win. So I'm going to go Steelers 23-20. Just to be different. Okay, gentlemen, on to our next topic. It is the Penguins.
Penguinos.
Go ahead, sir. It is the Penguins. I thought you had something. All right, so the Penguins played against Toronto. And they just kind of ran into that buzzsaw that is called Father Time. And at the end, they just, to me, having watched the highlights, not the entire game, to me, it looked like they ran out of steam. Trace, you're up first.
Well, first of all, they got a few guys banged up, right? Isn't Braz out? And there's one or two others, including Billy's favorite, Jari.
Oh.
I just think maybe they petered out there, but they had one bad period. I don't think it's reason for red flags or anything. You all right?
Yep.
But I mean, obviously with their age, it's always a concern. But yeah, it's whatever. They're surprising so far. We didn't think they'd do this good, so hopefully they keep it up.
We're just taking 8-4-2. Matt, talk to me.
That pepper on the mac and cheese will get you every time, Ed.
Woo!
Anyway,
man.
So when you come out flat in a third period like that, and you look like you just ran, 5 miles in the middle of the period, you got trouble. I don't understand. And that there was young guys
out there
that were flat for 5 to 7 minutes of that period. I don't know what happened. I can't explain it. They just played flat. Period.
So I know it's one bump in the road. Maybe they're two
Yeah,
injuries
I don't
straight.
think it's trendy.
You don't think it's trendy at all? No.
No.
Not the deeper issues, just the obvious age.
Yeah, I mean that's well, it ain't going to get better. I mean,
They're not
we're
going, folks. That's a factual statement.
right. We're in the first third of the year, so it's just going to get more and more evident as we go.
It's like only like 33%, Ed.
That's true.
That was good, Ed.
That was good.
That was good.
33%.
Tell him that was good. That was
That
good.
was good. 5 points for Tracy and 0 for Matt. Any changes on defense they could have made to prevent that comeback?
Well, I mean, when you got a 3-0 lead, I mean, you could protect it. I mean, you could play like that instead of being on your heels. You could stay a little aggressive. You don't have to gamble, but you can be aggressive.
I mean, with the talent they have, why didn't they just try to play hot potato and keep the puck away then, right? Just let's do circles with the puck and kill the time.
Right. I mean, where's the recycle? Where's the playing back to the defense, and recycle?
Yeah. That's where you need your third line. That's right. You need your grinders to go in there and just sit there and just keep moving it back and forth.
Or a great time for an adequate fourth line to go rough some people up and, get the car, get their crowd out of it and all that fun stuff. But it did not happen.
Yeah, but you start mixing it up sometimes. 3-0 leads turn into 3-3s.
Well, it did anyway. It turned into 4-3. So why not have a little fisticuffs, to pump some energy into them. All right. Burkell, is he still out? I didn't check this morning.
As far as I heard he's out.
How long do we know?
I don't know.
No say.
No say, senor. So what's it going to look like without him? Who's his replacement? And how important is he to the team? Go with Trace.
Who is it? Ben Kindle?
Oh, Ricardo Raquel.
Oh, Raquel. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I'm reading your notes too. Super important. With him and Braz, they seem to be the glue is already there, right? But then these guys are in the outskirts there just cleaning up things and whatnot. The net front presence seems to be the best thing, but the chemistry between the first two lines we just haven't seen in a little while. And it's come out smoking hot. And we're hoping when these guys get healthy, they come back, that they find that chemistry again. But Raquel is an intricate piece to that that chemistry they had going there. So yeah, him being out has been devastating. It's hard to make up for that guy.
Yeah, and he, your current coach isn't afraid to change things up, unlike the other guy who just, go out and run.
That seems to be his strength, right?
To go out and run. It is. I mean, it is. He may have faults in other ways, but his ability to mix up the lines and not be afraid to do it is also fantastic. Matt, talk to me about Ben Kindle. Multi-goal game against Toronto.
As every young kid is, he's a light. He's there's nothing to him. He might be a $175 with a bucket of water on him, but I mean, he looks good so far. He has 5 or 6 goals already this year. I mean, young buck. I mean, it looks good. It's promising, very promising.
Do you keep him up for an extended period of time?
I don't know why you wouldn't. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever not to. I get it. You got to get some weight on him and let him develop. But he's
Max,
playing now.
Your system. He was born in 2007.
Wow.
18-year-old kid. He's 182 pounds though. But I guess he's playing.
Yeah. I don't know.
Breaking news: Alexander Ovechkin just scored his 900th goal in the NHL on a backhand. 900 goals, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway,
still only less than 5 blocked shots his whole career.
Trace, talk to me about Crosby. What do you think? I mean, I've watched him this year. He looks pretty good. Not as good as he did last year. That's really the question I want to ask you. So last year he was in Fuego for most of the year, right?
Yes.
He maintained that this year. I think they'd be an even better team with that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he can. It's improbable. It was pretty in Fuego last year. I mean, those numbers were he's chasing greatness with some of these numbers he's hitting now. But even if he gets near that level, I think Malkin is feeding off of it. And this might even be Malkin's last year. And if it's his last song, I think that they're going to put all the energy they can into it. Hopefully that Sydney's able to feed off of that. And his line just seems to be clicking with him. They're right there where they need to be. They're ready for scoring chances. They're feeding him the puck where he needs it, right out in front. I like it. Hopefully they can keep it going with that momentum. But, yes, I do think he can, Edward, to answer your question.
Excellent. Matt, to you, another veteran. Trace talked about him.
Well, in regards to Sydney, and I hear Trace that Sydney's chasing greatness, but just like Chuck Norris, greatness is chasing Sydney. Who are we kidding? All right, this guy is the guy. All right, and he's still performing. Last year was unbelievable. I don't think he's going to take that big of a step back this year. I don't know how he's doing it. He just keeps going and going. And in regards to Malkin, if I had a nickel for every time I heard this was his last year, I have a bag full of it.
I think it better be that. He's just too old. And he's got that same Russian mentality too, which, stretches of extreme laziness and disinterest, stretches of stupidity and penalty wise, and then he also has the stretches of brilliance as well. So I think it's time for Malkin to go skate in Russia, go play in the KHL. I heard Moscow Dynamo needs some players. All right,
he'll play till he's 51 there too.
Probably, I would not doubt that. You're 100% right.
Yeah,
I've seen it over there, and they don't hit, and it's the international ice size. So if you can skate, I mean, look at Yager. He played. He could still be playing right now.
He could do the triple Lutz.
Yeah, he did. And in the summer, he does a triple Indy because he's that good. But Mac, goaltending, Tristan Jarry, Billy's favorite player, he stinks. Come on. I mean, they're just going to have to eat that salary. It hangs on their neck like an albatross. What are your thoughts, buddy?
Well, it does, but you don't have a plan. You don't have another plan, though.
Yeah,
so you have
Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Bring him up.
I hear you, but he's playing pretty good this year. And I know Bill, I can hear him yapping in my ear, but Jarry is playing pretty good this year. So, you gotta give him the credit that he deserves. I know he chokes at times and he does dumb things, but the guy's playing pretty good right now. And he's the reason that they're there.
Fool's gold?
I'm sorry.
Is that just fool's gold?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame because I don't think he's worth anything. I think they just eat the salary and just start over. Honestly, because he's more of a headache than anything. Because he does have flashes of very good play, but I just think he's, for whatever reason, he's lost on this team. I don't know why.
He fools us all the time. He does this, and then he'll fall back into the same trap. I don't doubt he'll do it again, but unless you're going total rebuild, you're going to keep them in the stable because no one's going to take them. I mean, what are you going to do with them?
But it's going to come to that point eventually. No one's going to take him. So when do you want to eat the salary?
I would do it now.
Oh, great question.
Yeah.
Bring the younger guy up from Wilkes-Barre. Let him try out early in the season and see if you need to make a move at the trade deadline.
Which, oh my God, he is so special, people. That's the best transition I think we've ever had on the show. Trace, what's the future of the goaltending? Do you bring him up? What are your thoughts on the Wilkes-Barre Scranton guy?
Whatever the timing is that he needs, that's when you bring him up. And when you do bring him up, I think that's when you move Jarry in any capacity you can, which to include even eat half his salary for another team to take him, just to move him on and move forward with something else.
I think it's a fabulous idea. Mac, bring him.
I mean, it sounds good. It sounds good. I just don't think they're going to do it. I mean,
why? What's the hesitancy in doing it? I mean, Dubas.
Well,
it's a mistake.
When Sidney Crosby's still, love him to death, but when he's still pulling cords to the puppets, okay, they move their mouse as he pulls the string. Are you really
interesting point? You think he's that involved in the player movement?
Absolutely, I do. He does it very, very Lemieux-like, only he doesn't open his mouth. Lemieux would run his mouth to everybody and controlled it. Sidney controls it all by a look or two. It's a different way, but they both control the team, period.
I like that. Trace, thoughts on that?
I do think Sidney controls the team very well. And I think Malkin gave him credit for that, if I'm not mistaken. He takes all the interviews, whatnot, and he keeps the demeanor going. I also think he doesn't let anybody get too out of control unless they're Marc-Andre Fleury with the jokes. I think that he's the right guy. to move forward with, and just if the supporting cast can help him along the way here, they could be a pretty decent team. Hopefully, make a playoff run.
So, Mac, you're going to start us off on the trade bait. What do they have to, as far as bait to dangle in front of other teams in order to do, say, like a package that involves Ajari and a portion of his salary? Who do they have to set that bait out there?
Well, I mean, presuming that they're going to empty the shelves, is that where we're going?
No, I you think you have to watch them a little while longer, and if they're in a point where it's they're a reasonable point, if they've attained a reasonable position to do what Tracy's saying as a run per se, what's their need and what does it look like if they need, say, a center, second line center, if they need a second line winger, if they need a top 4 or 5 defensemen. What's their, because they kind of emptied Wilkes-Barre, for the time that they made their runs, right? So what would a trade look like to accomplish that?
I don't know if they have much trade bait, to be honest with you, to get better. If they're going to make a run, I just don't think they can make a run. I think they're going to be right on the cusp of a playoff team, if not a playoff team. They got off to a hot start, which probably means they're going to be in it for the long haul, and it's going to be another year, 2 or 3 of this mediocre, bottom playoff team contender. That's what I see.
Trace, give me a trade scenario. You got any?
Not that I know of, Eddie. But I mean, Jar is the only thing I would really move on with and try to improve the goaltending is what I would say at this point. But I mean, outside of that, I'd have to have more information on their contracts to see who we can move just to find something comparable and save money somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. So Mac, another beautiful transition from Dr. Mac right into the final point about the Penguins. Mac's thinking 2 to 3 years. What do you think, Trace? For a true transition, what do you think?
Unless we can find our guy, it might be 5 or 6 years before we're able to do it because putting these pieces together seems to be like a miracle.
Yeah, I mean, it shows. I mean, 8-4-2. That's not horrible. It puts them at 18 points. So, and if they are, that's the whole point of the trade. If they're in it, if they're in a mix of players, of teams, I think they should make some sort of move at the trade deadline because you can't be happy with what you got. You can't stay pat if you're like that. You need something to push you over the edge. Or if you're on the other side of it where you don't have the points, then you do a little bit of clearing house with the Jari and, some other folks who have some expiring contracts. But great point Trace made. Got to look at the salaries, see what makes sense.
If there's anything else to improve on, Eddie, I would say they need still to find that one guy who during the power play is able to just disrupt that goalie right in front.
They need the mucker or the grinder to sit there in the middle. It's a great point. All right. I'm not sure who they have next, but that's not the most important part we have. Now we're moving on to Pitt. Pitt is a bye week this week, so they're definitely going to win. They sit at 7-2 right now, and they have a stretch of 3 games coming up, which are their last 3 games of the season. They host Notre Dame. They go to the Rambling Wreck at Georgia Tech in Atlanta, and then they host a struggling Miami team. So, Trace, you're going to be up first. The first question is not going to be about the offense. First question to you. It's just quickly. It's a snap reaction. How many of those 3 can they win?
Cool. They can get 2 out of those 3.
Love it. Mac?
No way. They'll get 1.
Who's the one, Mac?
I think they lose the next 2. I think Notre Dame beats them. I think they lose at Tech.
Another sidebar real quick with you, Mac. Notre Dame is hosting Navy, and Notre Dame is favored by 25.5. Do you see that as a reality, or is that a fantasy in the betting world? Because I think if I had a house and a farm and say if you put your house and farm up, I'm taking Navy in the points because Navy can possess the you-know-what out of the ball, and they're just going to take the time away. There's no way they lose by 25.5. I can't see that. Can you?
I can't. I don't know how. I don't know how Notre Dame scores 25.5. So they slow the ball down better than any team in the league. So that's a very valid point. However, in regards to Vegas and the lines, they add 7 points to the Irish every single week. It seems like.
Yeah. I don't have a farm, or else I would honestly bet the farm. All right, I like your answers, but we're going to move on. All right, offense did well against Stanford after a couple, shady offensive performances. What are they going to do when they face Notre Dame? Mac, you go first.
It's a tough game for them. I think they lose handily. I really do. I don't know what they can do to fix that. I mean,
they have a rest. They have rest, and I think they have two good running backs that can run the ball. They seem to have those zone reads down pat, and they have the good counter tray. You don't think they're going to be able to run it?
Well, they just the polls just came out too, and players know that they're in the college playoff right now. They're in there, so they see that gives them a little fuel. I think it's going to pick them up. I think it's not good for Pitt that it came out this week because they're young kids. That's what they react to. It's not a good time for them.
Snap poll, Mac. What are the odds of them winning 3? Speaking it, what are the odds?
30%.
Woo! That's higher than I thought you would give them. Trace, thoughts on that offense? We know they can pass. We know they can run. Who do you like more? Do you like the freshman passing, or do you like the run game?
Oh, geez. A combination of both would be the answer, but the only chance they'd have is if that freshman's able to do a little bit of that scramble stuff and just find an open guy, make things happen from time to time. I think the talent that they're going to be up against, it's just going to be a little bit too much for them, and that's the only way they'll be able to do that.
Okay, I like that. What about you think a combination obviously is the best thing in the world. You want the great running game, great passing game. Talking about off-schedule plays, can he create a bunch of those against Alabama, Mac?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I don't see why. I don't see why they can't. I mean, but will they? That's a whole different discussion.
Yeah. All right, Trace. Now we move to your favorite part of the team, the Big Uglies. Can their O-line sustain that Notre Dame defensive line? They had some issues on the right side against Stanford. Can they sustain that and actually give Heinz some time to, say, create some deep routes or open some holes for those running backs?
The answer is hopefully maybe. But at the same time, you got a game plan for that, right? You got to let your quarterback know that ball's got to come out, or you got to be moving. And if he starts moving, you got a game plan just for that. To let your guys know, don't quit on the quarterback, come back to him, and you might be able to make something happen with that.
Mac, thoughts?
The O-line struggles a little. I don't know how they stand strong against that front. I just don't.
Okay. It's not a great answer, but it's an answer. All right.
I love you anyway.
Yeah, they're wide receivers. Johnson obviously had a breakout game. Kind of a under the radar type player. Didn't really expect him to do that much, but he seemed to do well. It's an obvious statement how you get the ball to him. You throw the ball to him more. But there's schemes that you've seen in Pitt, and we haven't watched a ton of Pitt. I know that. But how would you recommend them getting their wideouts, especially him, more wide open? Mac.
Obviously routes. You're going to have to get this guy. You're going to have guys coming down and playing underneath. You're going to have to. You can't take the top off anything. So you're going to have to, check down. Play, slow ball. There's no. You can't stretch anything. I don't think you got that ability.
Yeah. Trace, thoughts?
I think Mac's right. They're not going to be able to stretch that field by any means, but finding the open person, the crossing routes. If they get into a zone on them, you got to sit down in the zone, find those open guys, go through the progressions. It's down to the basics with that stuff. But at the same time, if you can get some crossing routes and whatnot, you might be able to open something up there. And if they go man on man at any time, you got to take your chances at that point down the field with your one-on-ones.
That goes back to the Big Uglies that you're talking about. All right, Trace, you're up. Don't go over. You're up again. So the defense in Pitt, for whatever reason, Narduzzi has them just coming in waves, seemingly, against everybody. Like, they really didn't get beat necessarily. They lost the games, but they were in both those games and really, quite frankly, should have won both of them and should really have a chance of being 9-0. But having said that, Trace, the defense, I know you watched them a little bit, not a lot, because we all have lives, but that defense comes in waves. Can they stop Love and that running attack of Notre Dame?
They have their work cut out for them, that's for sure. The answer is they can. Improbable that they will stop them. I don't know. I think they'll slow them down. I don't know if they'll stop them. I don't think the damage will be as bad as it predicted.
So they have the ability to go after Carr, the rookie quarterback, right? So Mac, what do you think? Do you think they're able to do some sort of exotic blitzes and go after that guy?
Absolutely. They don't. If they don't, they don't stand a chance. And Narduzzi usually does. He does scheme on that side of the ball very well. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's their only chance, and they're going to have to mix up some packages, and they're going to have to gamble a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
I agree with that. So that leads us into another great segue. Narduzzi. The guy puts a tremendous amount of people in the NFL. He just does. NFL rosters are littered with Pitt players. He wins, 7 games last year, 7. He's been to an ACC championship game. He's had lots of success at Pitt. We don't know the NIL deals at Pitt. We don't even know if they have any NIL money. What is his future, Mac? What do they do with him, Mac? What's the future?
They keep him, or
yes.
There's no question they keep him. It is the silliest thing when I hear that Narduzzi should be pushed out of town, or that he's a rumor to go out of town. It's silly. It reminds me of back in the day, Juan Stead. When you coach at Pitt and you bring a team and win 7, 8 games, sometimes 9 and 10 games once in a while, you got to keep that guy. And Narduzzi's a household name. You're not going to get anything else to come here. You do everything you can to keep that guy.
Tracy.
Yes, I think you do keep him because the 7-2 and 7-2. He's made a couple bowl games. I mean, it's hard to get a consistent coach, and right now he's consistently better than the NFL coach we've all been complaining about with mediocrity, right? So yes, I think they retain him, they keep him, and I do think that he's actually really good at recruiting. Just for whatever reason, he can't put it all perfectly together for that coveted championship.
Okay, follow-up question to both of you: is he or will he be a target of another team, Mac?
Absolutely. Why would he not be? That's.
So,
I mean, he's
salary?
a mill.
Yeah. Do you raise his salary?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to.
Yeah, that's then they haven't done that yet. Trace, so you target for another team.
Oh yeah, that happened. Yes, that would happen. And I do think you need to raise his salary just to make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, it's interesting. There's a lot of high-profile openings, and like a move for him, I could see would be a Virginia Tech type move. It's a lateral move, but it's tons more. They have $300 million in NIL now, so to me, that's a lateral move, but you get the NIL with you. So I agree. I think
but nobody wants to be down near Virginia anywhere. Like nobody goes there.
They need to increase the salary, but they haven't done it yet.
Like people down there can't drive too.
Yeah, there's parts of that place that you're right. I totally agree with you. They cannot drive, but I think they raised the salary. It's interesting because it wasn't but a couple hours after Franklin was fired that what's his name from Indiana got called in. Signetti got called into the office, and they said, "Hey, we're going to do something here," and they gave him 9 years, $93 million because they knew he was going to be a definite target of Penn State. It's just an interesting side note to watch. All right, now the most favorite part of the show that you guys love the most, right, is when we talk about the other team that exists in Pittsburgh, one of the other teams, and that's the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, right? So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. They're very generic. It's just
Thank you.
Really yes or no. So thanks to the Detroit Soccer Club, they went into Louisville, who was the number 1 team in the MLS, sitting at 70 points. And the biggest upset in the playoffs as far as points differential, they went and upset Louisville 1-0. We say nil when it's 0 in soccer, gentlemen. So the history of these teams, they've played 3 times this year, twice in the regular season and once in the Jägermeister Cup, which is so fun to say, Jägermeister Cup.
Yeah,
that they won 2 out of 3. But the most convincing win, in my opinion, was when Detroit came to Pittsburgh and they beat them as I was at the game. So 2-1. Can Detroit take 3 out of 4 from Pittsburgh? It's just a yes or no answer. You don't have to know anything about soccer. Mac, can they win it?
I wanted to say Jägermeister Cup once.
You just did.
So yes. According to my notes here, yes, they can.
Trace.
Jägermeister. Yes.
It's just like Burgermeister Burger from the old holiday cartoon that we had before. So anyway, just to give people an update, the game Saturday went full 90 minutes with 5 minutes of stoppage time in the first half and like 3 or 4 minutes in the second period. The second half they had stoppage time. So that works out to be about 100 minutes. Then they went into the first overtime, 15 minutes. Nobody scored. Shocking. They went into the second overtime. Nobody scored. Shocking. So now we played 130 minutes of soccer, right? Nobody has put the ball in the net. So we go to penalty kicks. Guess what happens? Hartford wins the toss, which is horrible. You always want to win the toss in soccer. I don't know why, but you did. So anyway, Hartford goes up for their first shot. And the kicker, you guys should go to a game. It's fun. The kicker, Eric Dick, came up with a huge save. They're just 11 yards away. He came up with a huge save and stoned him on the first one, which was amazing. And they get really creative with his last name for some of the chants at the stadium. So it's very interesting what they come up with. We need more, we want more. So it's very interesting. And they ended up winning 4-2. So Detroit comes into town. This is the Eastern Conference semifinals. They win this. They possibly, if Rhode Island upsets, if Rhode Island wins, they host Rhode Island, which they've dominated lately. So that's the best part. You know what? We did miss a lot of comments too. But anyway, see if the Riverhounds keep going because they own the point differential in the Western Conference, they could host the final, which would be amazing. But they got 3 games to go before they get there. All right, so we got some comments here. We got Todd Fritz. Todd Fritz says, "What we got McAllen tonight, gentlemen? Don't get excited. The Steelers have many mediocre weeks ahead. We are still 8-8 with mediocre Mike Fire Tomlin. He's very what we got. That's the same one. William Akins types. I don't know who this William Akins is. Look at this trio. Maybe he just likes the way we look. That's nice of him. And then he says, impatient drivers in Pennsylvania. I don't know why he would say that. And then he said, lots of bad decisions made on Jägermeister. Then we have Mr. Stiller. I think that's how you pronounce it. Will the Pittsburgh Penguins ever have their own? No, Pittsburgh Panthers ever have their own football stadium? That's a great question, Mac. What do you think?
Absolutely not. Why would they?
I mean, did you go to games at Pitt Stadium? I never asked you that.
I did, yeah, of course. But the booming metropolitan area up there, there's room for it everywhere. I mean, on Pitt Camp. I mean, come on.
It's very tight. Trace, yeah, it is. You're right. There's not a lot up there. Trace, they ever go to stadium on their own?
I think they're going to. They might have to in order to entice more NIL money to come in, man. I mean, right now, how do you get like a big name player to want to come in and be like, yeah, we don't even have a place to play?
Yeah.
If I may, though, who are they going to blame for messing the turf up then?
This is a fact. That turf is wretched. It's an embarrassment. Again, the league should step in. It's a $18 billion in revenue league, and you can't grow grass. When, in fact, in Green Bay, they have no problem growing grass. And everywhere else where there's grass, they have no problem, except for the city of Pittsburgh, which is very odd. I don't understand it. But
I mean, Cheech and Chong should tell them how to grow the stuff.
Exactly. I mean? That's a valid point. Cheech and Chong, if you would like to smoke that grass, then you could do it. But you can't because it's just dirt, and it's built terribly. I don't know why. Maybe they need some engineers from Europe come over and show them how to grow grass if it happens. William Akins says, I still have splinters in my bottom half on the backside from Pitt Stadium. That's a lovely memory and an excellent mental image you've created for all of us, William. So thank you for that. Anybody have any other fading points? Mac, did you
do the same thing in a Great Outdoors? Remember, Sean Candy did that whenever he got pulled across that dock.
That's true.
So he's going.
Yeah. Mac, did you enjoy yourself?
Absolutely. I appreciate the invite, gentlemen.
You're now our permanent sub. So now when Tracy goes hunting on Wednesday nights, or if I just forget because of my ADHD and dyslexia, you'll be there. And Mac will be there. It was a great night. Had a blast, gentlemen. We got the Steelers. We got some football. We got some Penguins this weekend. And most importantly, Saturday night at Highmark Stadium, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds will host the second round of the USL Championship playoffs. All right, folks. Good to see you. Trace, last words?
Bonsoir, mes amis. Yins.
Nice. Mac, last words?
Hello.
There you go. Peace out.